Hey, my name is Tina and today I'm bringing you my bookish thoughts on Ik moet nog even kijken of ik kan by Liesbeth Smit. This is a Dutch book. It's part memoir and part information book about introverts. The subtitle is De stille revolutie van de introvert mens. Now, I have not read any books about introverts before, but I do have Quiet by Susan Cain on my TBR. However, this was a library loan, and when this was available I decided to borrow it. And in this book she does reference Susan Cain's book as well, but this book, because it's Dutch, more specified to Dutch society. The author said that at the time that she wrote this, there weren't many books published in Dutch about like the Netherlands, Belgium, rather than everything that was like translated was all translated books from America, if that makes sense, from the United States. So I think this video can be relatively quick because I don't have a whole lot of thoughts about this book that I can really eloquently put into words right now. There's my dog, so I thought, if you're wondering why this angle is a bit odd, I thought it'd be nice to have her in the view. The road is a bit noisy because the doors are open. I hope it's not too bad. This book has a bunch of different chapters. It starts off with saying why being an introvertism? Is that a pre-note? Why being an introvert deserves some attention also in the Netherlands. Like, what is introversion? What does it mean to be an introvert? It has a chapter on children as introverts, on like adults working, on relationships, on being happy. I enjoyed reading this book. I already knew some things about being an introvert. I've read about them online, so some of this information was new to me, some of it was familiar. I'm very much an introvert according to like tests I've done online, and also just what feels right to me. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I have autism, I have ADD, everything. Most things cost me a lot of energy. I don't have a lot of energy. Input really tires me. I should really make some videos about that. But yeah, what I really liked about this book is the different pieces about the author and also people that she had talked to, how they experience being an introvert or being an extrovert, because there's also some people here talking about being an extrovert. I also liked that every now and then the book had some like special pages, that the bits in pink is what I mean, in which various different things were discussed, tips how to deal with certain things, or it was kind of like a little bit separate from the main text, which is just like this, the main text. And I quite liked those parts. I recognized a lot from myself, and it got me wondering as well, like, how would my family identify, for example? Would they be introvert or extroverts or ambiverts? I also like that the book mentions autism here. It's not a long bit, but I like that that was quickly mentioned. The book also mentions something called, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, an extroverted introvert. Oh, here it is. It says, yeah, extroverted introvert. That bit I was not familiar with. So this was a nice, interesting read. I didn't learn as much as I was hoping, but I really liked reading like the bits that I recognized and the tips and just the layout. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's near the end of the day, so I don't have lots of energy to put my thoughts into coherent words. But what I'm planning to read after this are my other library loans, and this doesn't really connect with them in any way because they're fiction books. So I wanted to make like a separate short video about this because I didn't feel like it makes sense to tie it in with the rest, if that makes, or the others. I might split it up into, anyway, not important. I can remember. So yeah, I found this an interesting read, but it was also not like a new favorite or something. I think it will be interesting to see how this book compares to Quiet by Susan Cain when I eventually get around to reading that book. Because I do own it, and I do plan on reading that at some point. I hadn't realized that it would be very much about American society in the United States. Now that I think about it, it does make sense. But I did like that this book pointed that out, because I think it will help me going into that book that I know that beforehand, if that makes sense. I actually found this author because she has written another book after this book. This is her debut book. And so I was interested in that one, which is about not having children and kind of well, she doesn't have children and she doesn't want children. I've just read the synopsis, I haven't read the book. The library didn't have that one, but they did have this one, and since this interested me also, I figured I'll try this one. And I liked it. Didn't love it, but yeah, it was an interesting read. It's nicely written. It's not a quick read though. Like, it took me a few days to get through this book. It doesn't read quickly. I found that after a little while I had to put it down again to process things, which makes sense for the kind of book that it is and the concepts that it introduces. So this book has 7 chapters, and I think I read about 2 chapters one day, 2 chapters the next day, and then today I read 3 chapters. Because once you get to the end, I don't want to finish it all. I think that's about all I wanted to say about this book, so yeah. Hey, this is me a few days later, and I thought about it, and I feel like my review didn't really, I don't know, it didn't really, I feel like I'm not the best person to review this book about introverts, because I have known for a long time the way I am and that I need lots of time on my own. It wasn't until much later on that I learned that that's called an introvert, but I've known that for myself a long time, and so tips on that or anything are not really, like, I don't really need that because I've learned that already. In that sense, the book didn't bring me a lot of new things or anything, but I did really like the recognition and reading how other people experience that, and yeah, but I don't feel like I'm the best qualified person really to review that book, if that makes sense. Well, I just wanted to add that. Yeah, I'm quite tired. I didn't quite like how my review turned out, to be honest, but I'm not really sure what exactly I would change about it. So, well, anyway, bye. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!